This is IGN. Sony's Last Hunt, if we're lucky. This is your IGN review of Kraven the Hunter by Tom Jorgensen. The laughter started about 20 minutes into my screening of Kraven the Hunter, and it wasn't the kind of laughter that anyone who's devoted months or years to making a film wants to hear. But more than Russell Crowe's silly Russian accent, more than Fred Heckinger's lip-syncing of piano bar standards like Harry Styles' Sign of the Times, more than the rumble of Aaron Taylor Johnson's stomach hungry for anything other than the boiled chicken and rice that he must have mainlined for months to achieve his ridiculously sculpted abs, laughter is the sound that will be associated with this follow-up to Madam Web, Morbius, and the Venom trilogy. Say what you will about the flagging quality of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as of late, but Sony's Kraven, okay, hold for applause, exercise in keeping its Spider-Man movie license alive is worthy only of your ridicule, and certainly not the 127 minutes you're being asked to waste on what I can only pray is the final attempt to beat this dead horse of a cinematic universe. Seeing as Kraven's so anti-animal cruelty here, it would only be right. With a structure shamelessly ripped from Batman Begins, Kraven the Hunter's first act alternates between past and present, introducing Sergei Kravenov, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, as a mythical hunter not of animals but of criminals. Never does Kraven the Hunter effectively connect Sergei's supposed affection for creatures weaker than he, like Bison or his brother, to his choices or tactics in battle. In fact, the film undercuts that affection, muddling Sergei's code by having his actions put animals and innocent people at risk constantly. It's the Kravenovs' family dynamics that provide the only semblance of narrative tension, with Nikolai manipulating his sons' love for one another in ways that could have given the story some weight, especially given the believable chemistry between Taylor Johnson's stoic Sergei and the nervy sensitivity of Heckinger's Dmitri, and yet director J.C. Chandor seems completely disinterested in plumbing this anti-hero conception of the comic book villain for any nuance. Sergei has an ally in lawyer Calypso, played by Ariana DeBose, a functionary character whose fate is unconvincingly intertwined with his. Sergei and Calypso's meeting early in life and reunion later in adulthood is just one of the many examples of the poisonously rote script assuming that no one cares about tracking logic in a comic book movie. Kraven the Hunter tells us that Sergei is superhuman and the best hunter in all the world in one moment when he says, "I'm faster than karma," and sends him asking an officer of the court for help tracking someone the very next. Maybe that was the point, that even the strongest need support? If so, wow, is that point not made successfully? The cast deserves a lot of sympathy here. Taylor Johnson, Crowe, Heckinger, DeBose, they're all working with material that is leagues below them, constrained by an overly serious tone that's out of step with the inherently ridiculous trappings of the story of a man who can talk with animals. Something that even the Aquaman movies understood is a little more than silly. DeBose, an actor bubbling with charisma, is especially ill-served, although I guess for a movie so inept at dramatizing the pitfalls of toxic masculinity, it only makes sense that the sole female character of note should be written so one-dimensionally. The antagonists have a little more leeway, with Alessandro Nivola's nerdy gangster Rhino scratching at the campy energy Kraven the Hunter so desperately could have used, including one moment where he straight up hisses when his plans go awry, again eliciting laughs I'm not sure the filmmakers intended. Rhino is moving in on Nikolai's territory after some shakeups in the criminal underworld, but the details of this rivalry and how Sergei, who's estranged from his family, comes to be caught in the middle of it are always rushed past, and the stakes of that nondescript conflict never engender any excitement. Kraven the Hunter takes aim at turning Sergei Kravenov into a pro-animal anti-hero, points its crossbow at its own foot, and pulls the trigger. Sony's latest and prayerfully last attempt to stage a live-action superhero movie using Spider-Man characters and not Spidey himself is one of the worst of the modern era, stranding good actors in an awfully bland action movie that cost $100 million more than it looks like it was made for. As a critic, I was privileged enough to see Kraven the Hunter free of charge, but I'm donating the cost of a ticket to the Lion Recovery Fund, and I'm inviting you to do the same. Time is money, people. Put both to good use, skip Kraven the Hunter, and give those box office dollars to the big kiddies instead. Screenshots in the comments at IGN.com, please. Kraven the Hunter's IGN score? 3. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest updates on Kraven the Hunter, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.